Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy Fitzmonk TV here, aka GLauren33. I am back here with another video on the channel. We are doing a quick reaction to Sasha and Bayley tonight on SmackDown. We got the match for the SmackDown Women's Championship, so I want to give you guys my thoughts on that quickly. And we're going to talk about where Sasha was drafted, because she was the first female wrestler drafted tonight. And we're going to talk about where they go from here with this feud. All right, plus the NBA Finals are on, and the rest of the WWE draft. So I want to go see what's going on with those two events. So I want to get this reaction out as quick as possible. But you guys have been showing a lot of support on these videos, so make sure to keep hitting that like button and subscribing if you guys are new. But yes, we got Sasha versus Bayley tonight, and the first thing I'm going to say, the match only ended or lasted about 2-3 minutes. It was very short, and I'm not surprised and I'm not complaining, but I've been saying for months, and I love being right. You guys know I'm not cocky or anything. I love to educate you guys, but you know, I love being right. What have I been saying most of this year? I've been saying when Sasha turns babyface and we get the Sasha versus Bayley feud, Sasha needs to be booked as a badass babyface. She has to be. You can't have her as that same old sympathetic babyface she was back a couple years ago. No, she needs to be a badass babyface. She doesn't need a complete character change like Becky Lynch when Becky Lynch became the man. Just have her be a stone cold badass. Take no prisoners attitude. You know what I mean? You know, if you want, she could be an anti-hero. Right? I know some of you guys were commenting on my draft predictions video. Some of you guys were saying, oh, Sasha's a tweener, if anything. I didn't see that tonight. The promos that she's been cutting, they've been badass babyface promos. And you could say the same thing with what we saw tonight. The Sasha we saw tonight for those 2-3 minutes, that's the Sasha we need to get going forward. It's Sasha's time to be the #1 babyface woman star in WWE. All right, she was for a short time back in 2016 when she was feuding with Charlotte, but they never pulled the plug. Remember, she kept winning the title and losing the title the next pay-per-view. We cannot have that now. Becky's not there. Ronda's not there. Charlotte's not there. I love Asuka, but I'll take Sasha over Asuka any day of the week and twice on Sundays. What we got tonight with Sasha is what we need with her going forward. I'm talking about the remainder of this Bayley feud and going on. All right, and you know, getting into the match. So Sasha comes out. Sasha and Bayley, I believe they both were wearing their SummerSlam attires. But Sasha comes out. You know, I love that. You know, we're getting Sasha with a full entrance, right? Sasha getting a full entrance now that she's no longer with Bayley. She actually got pyro, like I've been saying for years. Like, how did people like Carmella and Alexa Bliss have pyro, and Sasha, who's the best female wrestler in the world, how does she not have pyro? That got me so angry. But yes, Sasha got pyro with her entrance tonight. It was similar to the pyro she got at WrestleMania a couple years ago, but still, since they're in the Thunderdome, I can expect this going forward. It looked great with her entrance, and you could tell she came with that confident attitude, and she was excited, you know, but she also really could not keep her eyes off Bayley, because Sasha said it. You know, you guys saw the video I did on Sasha's promo on Talking Smack. She said she not only wanted to take the one thing that was most important to Bayley, which was the SmackDown Women's title, but she also wanted to end Bayley as well. And that's the Sasha we got tonight. She would not lay her eyes off Bayley. Bayley made her entrance, and I knew right away when Bayley came out that we were going to get a disqualification. I know some people are like, oh, Sasha might win the title tonight. I'm like, no, guys, they're not going to do that, especially since this match was not the main event. You know, they're going to do a big title change like this, especially when Bayley is 3 days away. She is 3 days away from officially being 1 year in her second reign as SmackDown Women's Champion. You know, they would have done that in the main event, which they didn't. You know, that was really the only thing that made me think that Sasha could potentially win the title tonight. But no, they're clearly saving it for Hell in a Cell, which I have no problem. I've been saying they should do it at Hell in a Cell. Sasha needs more big victories at pay-per-views anyway, so I am not complaining in the slightest, all right? If Sasha had won the title tonight, yes, I would have been happy, but I'm glad that they're saving that moment most likely for Hell in a Cell. So the whole thing now here with Bayley, Bayley came out. The second Bayley came out with the chair that she's been, you know, lugging around the last couple of weeks, I knew that this was going to end in disqualification. I knew it. And so Bayley gets in the ring, and before they can even do the ring introductions, Sasha's getting all up in Bailey's grill. He's telling her, "I'm gonna end you. I'm gonna end you." And you guys know Mercedes and Pan, Sasha and Bailey's real life names. We know that they're best friends in real life, but on screen they do a really, really good job of making it seem like they actually hate each other's guts. That's just how good Sasha and Bailey are. I know Biggie said in an interview earlier today that Sasha and Bailey are the MVPs of WWE for this pandemic era, and that is fact. I love what they're doing right now. So Sasha, before the match, is getting all up in Bailey's grill. The referee is trying to, keep them apart. So Sasha does gets her ring introduction, and she's still getting up in Bailey's grill, shoving Bailey into the corner. I thought for a second the match was not even gonna start. All right. So then Bailey does her ring introduction, and she has the title and the chair in both her hands. Sasha kicks the chair out of her hand and starts whacking on Bailey. So I'm like, oh, the match is not gonna start. But then the referee was able to, get them apart and actually start the match. And I got goosebumps. I was like, let's go, because Sasha's energy here as a babyface was getting me hype, bro. I was getting so excited. When I'm, because you guys know I'm such a big fan of Sasha, but when you're invested in a storyline, when you're invested into a character, right, you get goosebumps. And like, there's in most, things that happen in WWE, they don't give you goosebumps. They don't. Most characters, most storylines are just generic and boring. But this is something we've been waiting for. Plus, seeing Sasha giving that attitude, like, I'm here to destroy you, like, that gets me hyped. I'm just like, let's go, Sasha, get her. Like, because, with Sasha being the babyface, you want to see Sasha get her revenge on Bailey. You want to see Sasha win the title. You want to see Sasha pay Bailey back for the attacks the last couple weeks. Like, so I was loving this. So the match starts. Sasha is all over Bailey, pummeling her. She put Bailey in the bake statements like 2 or 3 times. She went for some quick roll-ups. And I'm loving it. And Bailey got a couple shots in as well. But Sasha, it was like 70% Sasha, 30% Bailey. Sasha, owned this. And this was only about 2-3 minutes. It was not long at all. All right, but Sasha just could not let her eyes off Bailey, and also Sasha was still selling the effects of the neck injury that Bailey gave her. So I like that little touch as well. It's just those little things, when I say Sasha is the best female wrestler in the world, I mean it, because most wrestlers don't do this stuff. They don't. All right, so Sasha's all over Bailey. So Bailey tries to get away from Sasha out of the ring, and Bailey grabs the chair, and like I said, I'm not surprised. I knew they were going to do this the second Bailey came out with the chair. So Bailey smacks Sasha in the abdomen with the chair, disqualification, because, you can't use a weapon, right? So I wasn't surprised at all. I kind of predicted this. I said this match was going to end via disqualification. All of us did. We knew Sasha was not going to win the title tonight, especially since this match was not in the main event. But it was only about 2 or 3 minutes, so I wasn't complaining. Like, I would have got more angry if they had done like a 10-15 minute match and then we got the disqualification. I'm kind of happy that they did it here, in only 2 or 3 minutes, because it's like, we really didn't even get the match. Like, they really didn't even get a chance to get going. Even though the 2-3 minutes we got was great, and then some of the best stuff we've seen all year, and I'm serious, just because the intensity there with Sasha was so good. But I'm glad that we, got the disqualification, very early instead of getting it, after 15-20 minutes, because we know Sasha and Bailey are going to give us a classic at Hell in a Cell. So after the bell, we see Bailey. She tries to hit Sasha in the neck with the chair, but Sasha dodges it, and Sasha just was like, "Nah, you're not gonna get me again, bitch." So Sasha starts pummeling it on Bailey, right? And then Sasha, gets the chair and she starts going off. Like, those chair shots that Sasha was giving Bailey were absolutely brutal. Like I said, I'm just loving this intensity. So Sasha puts Bailey's neck in the chair, doing almost the same thing that Bailey did to Sasha to start this feud about a month ago, but then right before Sasha could jump off the middle rope. Bayley rolled out of the ring, took her title, and ran. Sasha's still mad, because usually after that, the babyface would stand in the ring and not go after the heel after they, roll out the ring. But Sasha, being a great babyface, using her instincts, right? She's still heated. She ran out of the ring, but the referees came out and stopped her, about 3 or 4, and they stopped Sasha from getting the Bayley. But the whole time, Bayley's like, "You're never taking this from me," and Sasha the whole time is just fuming, angry. Any chance that Bayley tried to run away, Sasha would not let her run until that moment. But it was absolutely fantastic. I loved every second of it. Clearly, this is going to set up Hell in a Cell, and it looks like we are getting 3 Hell in a Cell matches this year. I know WrestleVotes reported that Sasha and Bayley is supposed to be the main event of Hell in a Cell. I don't know, because we are going to get Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre. Plus, we're also going to get Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso in an I Quit. Yes, an I Quit Hell in a Cell match. We've never had that before, but that's going to be interesting. I feel like that might be the main event. Sasha and Bayley should be the main event in my opinion, but we'll have to wait and see. Clearly, we're going to get 1 Hell in a Cell match at the beginning, 1 Hell in a Cell match in the middle, and 1 at the end. So I don't think Hell in a Cell is going to be, a heavy card. I really think we may have like 6 matches max. Especially if we're going to have 3 Hell in a Cell matches, all those matches have potential to go about 20, 30 minutes long. What I would do personally, I would do Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton to start the show, Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso in the middle of the show, and Sasha and Bayley to end the show, of course, because I do think Orton's taking the title off of McIntyre. I think Reigns is retaining against Jey Uso, all right? Both those men are heel, and I also believe Sasha is Sasha's winning the SmackDown Women's title as the babyface. I feel like you should close the show with Sasha the babyface, winning the title to send everyone home happy, all right? But we'll just have to wait and see. I'm going to pause this recording in just a sec just to see if something else happened between Sasha and Bayley, like some kind of announcement. But still, I forgot to mention the draft. So we talked about Sasha and Bayley. I love where they're going with this. Hell in a Cell, clearly. We'll see where Bayley gets drafted with. It's a good transition into the draft. So we had the draft tonight. I know I said, maybe Sasha should get drafted to Raw, but after talking to some of you guys, because you guys showed so much support on the draft prediction video, some of you guys saying Bayley should be the one to get drafted to Raw, and then they continue that feud with Bayley winning the Royal Rumble and getting a rematch against Sasha at WrestleMania, which I have no problem with, Or as long as Sasha finally gets her first WrestleMania victory, I don't care. Right, but I think Sasha is walking in the WrestleMania as champion, and hopefully, God willing, I'll be there in Tampa Bay for WrestleMania next year if the world is looking a little better. But anyway, with the WWE draft, I thought there was a chance Sasha would get drafted to Raw, but she was the first female picked in the second round. She was the second pick of the second round, picked to SmackDown. So Sasha stays SmackDown. She stays blue. Nothing's changing with her there. I don't have a problem with that. So it's gonna be interesting. I think that kind of confirms that Bayley, is losing the title at Hell in a Cell. We don't know yet where Bayley's getting drafted. She's in the draft pool for Monday. But we do know that Asuka, being the Raw Women's Champion, she got drafted back to Raw. So it wouldn't really make much sense for Bayley, being the SmackDown Women's Champion, to get drafted to Raw, and for both Women's Champions to be on Monday Night Raw, unless they were merging the divisions, which clearly they're not doing. So unless the plan is for Bayley to be on Raw and Sasha to be the SmackDown Women's Champion. That's the only thing that makes sense, but we'll have to wait on Monday for that. But the other big thing I wanted to mention also with Sasha being drafted to SmackDown is Bianca Belair. You guys know how big a fan I am of Bianca Belair, and in my mock draft, I had Bianca going to SmackDown, but I didn't think WWE would pull the trigger on it. But Bianca Belair is getting drafted to SmackDown, which is going to be absolutely crazy. Bianca Belair also posted on her social media. She they did like a special, they did the bump special, and they're doing it right now as SmackDown's going on the air. So Bianca Belair was asked how you feel about going to SmackDown. She's like, I'm excited, and she also said, and I quote, I'm on SmackDown and so is Sasha Banks, so I'm excited. And yes, you guys know Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair is one of my dream matches. It's up there with Sasha versus Trish and, Sasha versus AJ Lee. Like, I am so excited. And it got me thinking for a sec, I don't know. I really don't know if we should get Sasha versus Bayley at Mania anymore, because Sasha versus Bianca could be even better. You guys know how much I love Bianca Belair, and I hated I hated how Bianca was treated on Monday Night Raw. So I don't know. But here's the thing: Sasha cannot take another WrestleMania L. Because the thing that would make the most sense is for Bianca to be built to take the title from Sasha eventually. But like I said, Sasha cannot take a WrestleMania L. Everyone knows it. Sasha has never been able to successfully defend a singles main roster title, even though I think that is going to change, but she has not been able to do that. And she's never won a WrestleMania match. She's 0-5 at Mania. She's like the Big Show. And I hate to make that comparison, but we know Sasha has no WrestleMania moments. And that has to change. Sasha cannot keep losing WrestleMania matches. But the thing about it is, Bianca Belair versus Sasha Banks at WrestleMania, take my money. But I don't know. I don't know. So, like I said, I'm happy that Bianca's on SmackDown. We are going to get Bianca versus Sasha in the future. But I don't know. Maybe we get that feud after Sasha versus Bayley ends. Like, I could see definitely that being a feud to end 2020 and go into 2021. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But I'm very, very excited that Bianca got drafted to SmackDown. All right. I know Naomi got drafted to Raw. And hopefully, they build Naomi up. A Naomi versus Asuka feud could be great. All right. I wanted Naomi to stay on SmackDown so we could get a Sasha versus Naomi feud finally, because we've never gotten that. But still, it's going to be interesting to see what happens going forward. All right. I'm happy that I paused the recording when I did, because I just went back on SmackDown and I saw that the New Day did win the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, but Kofi and Xavier were drafted to Monday Night Raw, and Big E is staying on SmackDown as a singles competitor. So the New Day has been separated partially. Something, people have been saying for years finally happened here in the draft. Huge shocker there. But also, you're going to have both the Raw Tag Team Champions and the Street Profits and the New Day on Monday Night Raw. Both sets of the tag titles on one brand, unless the Street Profits get drafted to SmackDown. But hopefully WWE does what I've been saying for 2 years now, right? WWE needs to merge the tag team divisions. That is the one thing WWE has to do in this draft. It's a necessity, not an option. It's a necessity, right? The tag team division is basically dead. So you need to merge the tag team divisions and then build it back up. Maybe a couple years from now, maybe you can have separate divisions, all right? But you need to merge the tag team titles, have one tag team champion that can be on both brands. So, maybe if the New Day and Street Profits unify the titles, you could still have, Kofi and Xavier on SmackDown with Big E from time to time. But that's what I would do. Hopefully this means WWE is going to merge the tag team divisions, but we still have to wait and see. I would not be surprised if the Street Profits get drafted to SmackDown. That's a WWE thing to do, but we'll have to wait on Monday to see what happens. But also, Sasha did just cut another great promo, and it's very, very similar to the promos she cut last year when she challenged Becky to Hell in a Cell. So Sasha is and Bayley being in Hell in a Cell has been confirmed. Sasha just cut a really good promo saying, she called Bayley a coward for running from her. She should have seen it coming the entire time. She also said that you used to be my best friend and I used to love you so very much, but now that's all out the window. The only thing I care about now is taking the one thing that you care about the most, which is the SmackDown Women's Championship. All right. And she also said, at Hell in a Cell, I'm going to break you. I cannot wait for this match. I think it should be the main event. And hopefully it ends the way it should, with Sasha winning the SmackDown Women's Championship finally. So we can finally get Grand Slam Banks, something we've been waiting for God knows how long, right? But yes, Sasha cuts another beautiful promo. I'm loving this attitude from Sasha. I just hope it continues going forward, man. Sasha's doing some of the best work of her career with this new babyface turn, and hopefully they keep this momentum for her going forward, man. I'm just sitting here. I'm sitting here, and I can't stop thinking about potentially us getting Sasha versus Bianca. But I'm gonna end the video around here, man. This was a great night for us Sasha Banks fans. You know, Sasha versus Bayley did end in disqualifications, but you know, the 2-3 minutes we got was great. Babyface Sasha with this badass attitude needs to continue. I love it. Sasha also cuts a beautiful promo. Sasha also gets drafted to SmackDown, so she's staying Team Blue. Plus, Sasha versus Bayley announced for Hell in a Cell officially. It should be the main event in my opinion. We'll see where it goes, but I cannot wait. Also, we do not know where Bayley's getting drafted. I already said this earlier. So if Bayley gets drafted to Raw, like I said, it could happen. We just saw the New Day, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. They just got drafted to Raw. So it's possible. It's possible. All right. Bayley could get drafted to Raw as SmackDown Women's Champion. All right. You know, if I had to make a prediction for next week's SmackDown, I think next week we're going to get a contract signing. That's what we should get. Next week we should get a contract signing with Sasha and Bayley for Hell in a Cell. Hopefully they don't do some stupid tag team match or something retarded. I think next week we need to get a contract signing, you know, get both of these two in the ring face to face. We haven't had that yet. We've had them both cut brilliant promos on one another, but we have not seen them face to face in the ring with microphones in their hands. So definitely, I hope we get that next week. That's my prediction. Next week, Sasha versus Bayley, Hell in a Cell contract signing. That should be what we get next week. Let me know what you guys thought of the draft tonight. All right, I'm going to go watch the NBA Finals, but go tell me what you guys thought of the draft, what you guys thought of Sasha being drafted to SmackDown, Bianca being drafted to SmackDown, what you guys thought of the badass babyface Sasha Banks that we got tonight. Let me know all that in the comment section. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure to leave a like on the video, share it out to your friends, subscribe if you guys are new, enable notifications by clicking the bell next to my name, Fitzpunk TV, so you guys are notified every time I post a new video. I might do an extra podcast later this weekend talking about everything going on with the draft. We'll just have to wait and see. But man, oh man, what a night. What a night. But I'll see you guys later, man. Have a great night, guys. What's going on, everybody? I want to welcome you back here to the Legit Soup Podcast. And we have the best guest we could ever ask for. She is the legit boss, the blueprint, the standard, the greatest female wrestler of all time, the one, the only Mercedes Varnado, aka Sasha Banks, is here. Sasha, thank you so much for joining us. What's going on?
Hi George, how are you? I hope your day is going well. Thank you so much for the request and the questions.
No problem, Sasha, but before we let you go, I have two quick questions that I'm dying to ask. All right, I gotta hear your answer to these. I'm gonna make it tough on you. Outside of Bayley, because I know she's your BFF and you've said so many times how she's the best match you've ever had. Outside of Bayley, what are your favorite matches that you've had so far in your WWE career? And question number two, you have so many great ring gears. What is your favorite ring gear out of the million that you've had so far in your WWE career?
That is super hard. You know, Bayley is my favorite
yeah, we know.
All time. But my favorite matches besides with her definitely has to be my Hell in a Cell against Becky.
That was the best female.
That match was just insane and changed my
best
life
female
forever.
Wrestling match of the whole year.
I can't believe that match. I'm really proud of that match. Who else? Let me try to think of someone who's not Becky or Bayley. I've had some really good ones with Ruby. I love working with her. I like Ruby, Ember. I like that triple threat we did.
Wish we could see more of that.
What else can I remember? The one from Boston with Nia. That's one of my favorite matches.
Okay.
I hope you don't mind. I'm just thinking. Sorry.
You gave us a lot of answers.
That's a lot of answers. I gave you an answer. So, no, those are my answers. And my favorite ring gear ever.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear this.
Probably Wonder Woman.
Royal Rumble.
course, my Eddie Guerrero one.
Yep. WrestleMania
and
32.
from recently, I really love the Clash
The red and blue one,
Champions.
yes.
The pay-per-view, Clash of Champions.
Yep.
Gear that
Love
I
that
have,
one.
the navy one and red and gold. So that's
those
my
color
favorite
scheme, man.
ones. Thank you so much for this question.
Nana, thank you. Thank you.
I'm so thankful you're a fan, George. So thank you so much for sending this to me. I hope you have an amazing
You
day.
too.
I hope you stay
Thank you
safe
for
and
joining
well.
us, man.
And thank you so much for being a fan. Bye.
Huge shout out to Sasha Banks for joining us here on the Legit Shoot podcast, man. The #1 wrestling podcast on YouTube, because we tell it how it is like nobody else does. So make sure you guys subscribe if you guys are new, man. Peace.